So hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on campaigns. I'm first going to do a quick introduction. So I'm Lily and this is Carmen, and we're both customer success managers here at StoryChief. So as you know, this webinar is going to be all about content campaigns and how you can manage content campaigns. First, what we do want to mention to you is that if you're here, you're probably pretty happy with StoryChief. Don't forget we have a referral program where all you actually need to do is refer us to someone that you know. And then if they decide to subscribe to a yearly plan with us, you can actually get a €100 gift card of your choice. So that's definitely quite interesting. So if you would recommend us, you can get that. We also want to mention that we've recently launched StoryChief Academy, and that's especially interesting for newcomers. And what it is, it's basically short videos that go step by step over StoryChief's most popular features. And you really will get to know how to use StoryChief, and we go quite slowly over everything. Maybe also if you're more of an older customer, it's quite interesting if you don't know something, for example, about ambassadors, you can just watch a short video about ambassadors. So definitely check that out. So next thing that we want to go into is our used case. So as you know, in our last webinar, we used a use case where we are a company called EasyTalk. We have more than 10 years of experience in the well-being sector. We've recently launched this brand new online platform that connects therapists with people. And now what we're trying to do is create a campaign that really promotes this new online platform. But first, what is a campaign? So a campaign is a combination of articles, social posts, or events that are all linked to the same topic. So you can also, for example, give your campaign a running time to help keep your team focused and on track. You can also get insights to how your campaign is doing and see, for example, what stories or social posts did best, and then adapt your strategy on the insights that you get from your campaigns. You can also use a campaign, for example, give your team an objective or a goal. So for example, it could be, you want to create a campaign to hire new people for your company. So then all the content that you create around hiring people, you can put into that campaign. And in our case, you can also use a campaign to, for example, to launch a brand new online platform. So everything that we create around the launch of our new online platform is going to be put into that campaign. So for example, all the articles that we write, all the social posts that we write, or for example, events, which could be, for example, an open day at our company, that's all going to go into that campaign.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's a great introduction to our webinar. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you how to do this with StoryChief. I'm just going to remind you that you can also use the Q&A that you have here at the bottom to send your questions or your remarks or anything that you want to share with us. And we will stop in the middle of the webinar just to have a look at the questions that you have and try to answer them online as well. So just, don't be shy and just send us your questions anytime. So now we are in the workspace. I am going to use the user of Penelope. She's the chief of content marketing, and she's the one just creating the campaign, and she wants to manage the whole campaign. So there are several ways to create a campaign. You can do that from the dashboard here, you can do that from the calendar, but I will just go to the campaigns overview to create it there. So we get to the campaigns overview. Here you can already see a couple of campaigns that we have created in the past. So you can see the different titles, the status. Some of them are running, some of them are already completed, some of them may be too late. That's also a possibility. And campaigns can be ongoing, so they are always active, always open, or they can just have a specific period of time. You can also see the reach once the content is being published inside of the campaigns, and then the collaborators and few fields like this one budget that I will explain shortly as well. So let's create the first campaign. I click on New Campaign here, and I have this bar on the side where I can enter all my information. So the name of the campaign, for example, the start date and end date. If it's ongoing, for example, it doesn't have a specific period. I can also add a description for the campaign. I can assign collaborators, and then I can also add custom fields. What is this? Custom fields are fields that are not by default inside of the workspace because they are really individual to your own needs. So every company has a different types of fields that need to be included in a campaign. So you just need to, maybe you need to add some extra information, some extra notes, some extra, pieces of information that you really need to include in the campaign. You can create extra fields for that. So I have already created one, which is called budgets, but you can also create other ones. So this is what we are going to do now. So I click on Manage Custom Fields, and then we go to this page where I can see all the custom fields that I already have. I have a list with the custom fields that I have for my stories, but today we are going to focus on the campaigns. So here I already have the one called budgets, but let's create a couple more. I click on custom fields, and then I have different types. So a custom field can be, for example, just some text, small couple of words to include some information, or it can be a larger text. Maybe I want to give an extra description, maybe extra information, and it's going to be a long text. It can also be an autocomplete, just several options that I can choose from, or a drop down with different options, which from I can select one, or maybe I want to select multiple. It can be also a date, for example, that I want to really specify inside of the campaign. It can be an image or several images, maybe even the media that you want to use for the rest of the campaign, for the content, or an email address or any type of attachment. So let's create a couple. Let's say, for example, I want to create an ICP. This is really this is an important field. Is the ideal customer profile. So this is the people we are targeting with the campaign. So who are going to attract with the campaign? Who do we want to get attract to the campaign? So I'm just gonna create, or I'm just gonna select a single option. And I'm going to give it a name, for example, ICP. I can also give a description. I can mark it as important just to get a warning if I don't fill it in. And then here I can add all the options that I have. For example, let's say therapists can be one of these one of these type of people that I want to target with my campaign. Patients as well, people that are in need of finding this online platform to get in contact with this therapist. So I can really create my list. And then I can also even design the visibility. So maybe if a specific field is set or has a specific value, then this field will be shown. Otherwise, it won't. That's also an option, but I will just keep it simple. And here I have the preview. So my ICP, and it has two options, and I can choose one of them. So I save, and then I already have my second custom field. I'm gonna quickly create a couple of more. For example, another text one. This is going to be for the KPI. This is a key performance indicator. So this is the goal. What do we want to achieve with this campaign? It can be anything, but all campaigns have a goal. You all want to reach or to achieve something. So it's important that you also include this information in your campaign. So that's it. And then even I want to track the result of it. So once the campaign has been finished, I want to go back to this campaign and say, okay, this is the result of the campaign. We have got so many views or so many leads or so many customers. It can be anything depending on what you're looking for. So now that we have all these 4 custom fields, I can close the window. I can refresh the page just to let the custom fields be added. And we can create a campaign already. I'm completely ready to do so. So I click on New Campaign, and then I can already say, okay, we want to launch the online platform. Let's talk, that's the name of the campaign. The period of time is going to be from the 1st of December to the end of the month, for example. I can also give a description on how we or why we want to launch this campaign. I can also invite some colleagues to it. So for example, these colleagues, and then I have these custom fields that I have created. So I can also fill them in. Budget, let's say I want to spend €2,000 in this campaign. Is our ICP in this case is going to be patients, for example. The KPI is going to be 100 signed up. So we are really looking forward to get 100 people joining the platform to be able to make it running. And the result, I don't know yet. I will have to wait until the campaign has been finished, and I will come back and fill it in. So I can save the campaign, and that's it. My new campaign is here, it's ready. It's already running, so I can already see all these fields that I have filled in. And I can already go inside to the content and have a look at it. So we are now inside of the campaign, and at the top, I'm going to see all these fields that I have filled in. So I will see the description, I will see the running time, the budget, the status, the ICP, collaborators, and the KPI. The result is still empty, so we will fill it in afterwards. If we look a bit down, we see also 3 tabs. So on the overview is where we actually add the content, anything related and anything relevant to the campaign. So it can be stories and social posts. These are type of content that we can create with StoryChief, as you know. But it can be also anything else. It can be newsletters, it can be interviews, it can be any type of event or even a note that you think is relevant for the campaign. You can just create it as an event. So I can do so by clicking on Add. I can add a new event or just link an existing one. Let's say I want to create a new one. So I say, okay, the launch of the platform, because actually the platform is not live yet. It will be launched on the 21st. So that's my first event that I want to create here. And I can maybe also create another one. For example, let's say I want to create a newsletter. And the newsletter will be sent maybe, let's say, on the 24th. Only on this day, okay? So then I have my 2 types of events. I can also track the past ones, for example, so you can really add anything that you need that will centralize all this content, all this relevant information in this campaign. If I scroll down, I can also link a few stories. I can create new stories from scratch, so I can, fill in the editorial brief as we have seen in a previous webinar, and assign it to my colleagues, to the copywriters, or maybe I already have the stories in my system, so I can just link them. So for example, these 4. So now I have linked 4 stories to the campaign, and I will do the same for social posts. So I can also add new ones or maybe existing ones. So for example, these 3 is okay, like this. So now my campaign is kind of ready. Of course, everything is still in the early phase. I don't have much content published, but now I'm ready to start working on it. My copywriters know that they have to write the content, so I can see the evolution and I can follow up on this campaign. Here on the right hand side, you also have some quick links. You can create stories, social posts, or events from here as well. And here you can see all the recent activities. So every time someone is working on a story or on a social post, and comments are being added, or maybe some publications are made, you will find everything here. If you ever need to create or to edit the campaign, you can also click on Edit at the top and just change all the data, even add new custom fields, everything you need. but that's it for the overview of the campaign.
Okay, thank you, Connor, for that amazing explanation. I just see a few questions here. So I have one from Linda. So can I link one story to multiple campaigns? So yes, you can. I'm going to show you how you do that. So I'm going to leave this campaign. You can, for example, go to Stories. And then once you're in Stories, you can go to the story that you want to link to a campaign. So for example, if you click on the 3 dots here, you can click on Manage Campaigns. And then you can see this is part of the launch of the online platform. But you can, for example, add it to other campaigns as well. So you can, attach it to as many campaigns as you want. So I hope that answers your question, Linda. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't hesitate to send some other questions. We are really ready to help you out. So just
feel free to ask questions. I also see another one from Helen. So if I change the dates inside the insights, do the top performance metrics change? I'm going to go back to the campaign.
Yeah, this is something that Lily will explain now. She will show the insights page, and then I will be able to answer on this question, because you will see what Helen means, because maybe some of you don't really follow the insights yet. But we will have a quick look soon. Maybe let's refresh the Q&A, see if there is something else. Yeah. Can you share campaigns with others outside your agency or outside your workspace, such as clients or ambassadors? At the moment, this is not really possible. This is something that we would really like to include in the tool, that you are able to share the whole campaign and give it to a customer or to a colleague or to your manager even. But for now, we don't have the possibility to do so. But we do hope that we are able to give this in the future. But it's a really good question. So thank you, Cara.
One thing you can share though with your clients or colleagues is you can, for example, share the insights, so the statistical data. You can download it as a PDF. I'll also show that.
Yeah.
Another question.
And then another question. Most of our campaigns are ongoing campaigns. When I go to the calendar, all content, these campaigns take up all the space and I don't see my planned stories or social posts anymore. Is there any way I could exclude the campaigns from this overview? Yeah, actually, if you have many campaigns, they really get added to the calendar. So it really takes some of the space, but you can also filter out and you can actually take them out so that you only have a clean view of the stories or social posts or any other type of content that you want. But I think Lily will also show it really quick.
Yeah.
But also a very interesting question. So, thank you. We will continue now with the rest of the webinar. If there are any other questions, please keep adding them to the Q&A and we will have a look afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. So to continue, the next thing I wanted to show is that each campaign has its own calendar. So I'm going to go into the calendar here. And as you'll see, this is the launch of the online platform. So we're actually in this campaign. But you can also use different filters to, for example, see different campaigns or whatever you want to see. So for example, now we're on this campaign, but you can select other campaigns to see. And for example, if you want to see maybe, for example, a certain channel, you can, for example, select I only want to see things that are published on Facebook. And to answer your question, you can, for example, say, hey, I only want to see stories that are published this month. So that's how you can filter and have a better overview of your calendar. So to show you that. And also just to let you guys know, you can also sync this with your own calendar. So if you're using one of these platforms, you can just click on that and follow the steps, or you can use this link and copy and paste that into your preferred calendar of choice. Okay, I'll get rid of this one now. We're going to go back to here. So the next thing I want to show you guys is that you can see insights of your campaign. If I go into our insights here, unfortunately, it's looking pretty empty, and that's because we've actually just planned our content. We haven't actually published any content yet. so we can't get much data there. I have, however, got an example here of a pre-filled calendar. And here you can see this is HR related content. So in this content campaign, we will be publishing content around the company culture to attract more applicants. We can see the budget is 2,000. Here they have used a landing page URL. So if I click here, it will bring me to that page. You can also see the running time. So it started on the 21st of November. You can see here, for example, that the ICP is a marketing manager. And you can see that they already have one result, which is one hired person already. And as Carmen said, you can also always edit more information, or let's say you've hired an extra person, you can just click on edit and then change that to 2 hired people, for example. And if I scroll down, then you're going to get a lot more insights to your campaign. Here by default, it always normally, because we've selected this, but normally it shows you insights for the last 7 days. But I wanted to, for example, see insights from the beginning of the campaign, which, as you know, was the 21st. So I've changed the date to see the insights from the beginning of the campaign. So I've clicked on apply here. And then if you scroll down, so the first thing you're going to see is your story performance. And then if you scroll down, you're going to see your social media performance. But if you scroll down even further, you're even going to get a channel breakdown. So that's very interesting because you can see, for example, okay, where do I have the most number of followers and fans? And you can also, for example, click on engagements and then see which channel have I got the most engagements with. So that's definitely interesting because you can see why am I getting a lot more attraction on Twitter, for example, than Facebook. And then if you scroll down, you also have top read stories, top engagement posts, and top impression posts. So that's obviously also very interesting to see, okay, which article got the most traction, what did I do correct in that article? And you can see, for example, which article have I got the least clicks on, and then you can kind of adapt your strategy on the type of insights that you're getting. And then also one of the questions was about this. Do you want to?
Yeah, so Helen said if I change the dates inside the insights, so these ones here, I suppose, do the top performance metrics change? So this part at the bottom is static, so this doesn't change. This will give you always the most read stories and the top performance social posts from the whole campaign, regardless of the dates that you have here selected. So these dates will be applied to these graphics here, the story performance and the social media performance. But these metrics here at the bottom will stay because we want to give you the whole campaign information so that you know, okay, this is my best story ever for this campaign, regardless of when it was published. So I hope that answers your question, Helen, but let me know if that's not the case. We don't have any more questions for now. I don't know, is everything clear? Would you like maybe to have a look at your own? Is this something that you are already using maybe? Just send us all your feedback or questions, remarks, anything that you want. Because at the end, that's the way you can create a campaign. That's the way you can add content, add all relevant information to it, work on it, follow up on it, thanks to the calendar, thanks to this view as well. And then you can go back to the metrics, to the insights, and really check how the performance of the campaign is doing. You can compare campaigns as well if you want to, so you can really have a full picture of it. Mm-hmm. We are recording this session, so we will send it to you probably tomorrow or the day after, so you can rewatch it as many times as you need. And then we have another question, how does the targeting for the campaign works? So the targeting is actually something that you need to look into it before creating the campaign. So you need to actually check what your target is, what you want to get out of it, and then you can just include this information using a custom field. So we are not going to do the targeting for you, but it's something that you can study beforehand and then you enter the notes and information, and then you and everyone with access to the campaign can have a look at, okay, who are we targeting and why are we doing this and what is the result of this. I hope that answers the question. There is another question as well. Is it possible to make sub-campaigns? For instance, campaign co-marketing and sub-campaign API partners and sub-campaign co-marketing with clients. That's actually a really good feedback. At the moment, it is not possible to create a sub-campaign, but we can understand why you need this. This is something that we can look into it. We will give it to our product team so that they can also look into it. We may contact you if we need more information. But this is something that we can investigate, study, and see if it can be added in the future. So it's actually a really good question. Okay. Some more questions. Can you also generate insights not for the overall campaign, but for specific actions in the campaign in detail? For instance, for every story or social post apart. Yeah, this is a really great question as well. Yeah, so every single social post and every single story have his own report or his own insights. So this is really a great question, to be honest. So if you go, for example, to all published ones inside of the campaign or also in the stories overview, you can actually go to the report. You can click here on report, and then you will go to the report of this specific story. So you can also see what is the performance of the story itself. So in this case, this is a dummy random story, so it doesn't have that much information, but you can have a view on the impressions and also a channel breakdown, depending on all the channels where you have published the story, and also for the social post, and for example, ambassadors, newsletter. So per every single channel that you have published the story to, you will get also some insights about it. So yeah, you can do this very easily from the campaign, as you have seen now, or you could even go to the stories or social post overview and click here on report as well. So I'll show you, for example, this one has been published. I click on reports, and I know this one has some more data. So this is one example of a report for a story. So here you can see the total number of impressions, how many of those are views and how many of those are reads, and then the evolution, and then the channel breakdown. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And then the last question is there a better way to organize campaigns? Well, at the moment, you have just a list of campaigns here in this tab, and then you can do a quick search, for example. You can also add filters and try to maybe group them if you want to. Maybe that's something that can help you out to organize the campaigns or to have like this kind of sub-campaigns. So you can maybe create a filter based on a specific collaborator or based on a specific period or status or even title, or even a custom field. So you can create a custom field specifically to group these campaigns into a filter. And the filters, you can save them and they will be shown here on the left-hand side. So you can have like bigger groups of campaigns. I think that would be a good solution. I don't know if this is something that you can try out. I hope so. Otherwise, you can also let me know via chat or via email. Okay, it does. Okay. Perfect. Any more questions? Something else that you want to add?
No, I think that is, we've shown pretty much all the features of the campaign. It was some really good questions. I really like the one about adding filters, because it's true, it's a good way to organize also your campaigns.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anybody else has more questions or.
We will send the recording. Another question, can you make standard blocks? I don't know if I understand the question. As a custom field, you mean?
You can add.
So the custom fields are standards. They will stay for all the campaigns. It's not that you need to create custom fields every time you create a campaign. So they will be standards for all of them. I don't know if that's what you mean. Otherwise, we can also have a chat or a call to have a look in detail. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But very good questions there.
Yeah, really good questions.
Okay. So yeah, we really hope that you enjoyed the webinar. The idea is that you know how to create campaigns, how to actually personalize the campaigns to your needs, to your company needs, how you can follow up on them, and also how to track insights and the metrics for it. So if you have any feedback after this or any questions, you can chat with us. I think Lily will also be publishing soon a small academy video for the campaigns as well. So it will be included in the academy, so you can also have a look at that. And otherwise, we will keep in contact with you if you need anything.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. We are also going to wish you happy holidays. Enjoy your time off. And thank you so much for being here with us today and participating. It's always nice to see so many people.
Yeah. So enjoy the days and hopefully see you in January in our next webinar.
Yeah.
Bye bye.